Hello and welcome to the Space Between Ideas. This is the uncaffeinated version. A couple of days ago, I was mentioning that I had a couple of energy drinks, and then we seem to do a lot of work. We did a lot of focus. So let's get started. I think the first thing we're going to do, we're going to jump into Project Arrowhead. And the first question I have, or the first thought I have when I open up the Notion board is, does this Notion board help me to figure out what to do next and then to start working on it right away? Because I feel like getting to task actually showing you the screen. Try this again. Yeah, I don't know when YouTube does this. I have to pull out the tab into a separate window. There, see? And then I could put it back into the same window, and I think it's still gonna work. Okay, good. All right, so this is the Notion page. Motivations when your dreams put on work clothes. What does it mean? It means get to work. Okay, we open it up and then we're looking what is going on? How do I even think about this? So, I mean, okay, we got define organizational chart. Like is that like a to-do list? Is that something I need to do? Like what does that actually mean? The first thing I see is the title, okay, but then what? Define the organizational chart. Well, that means that like mm, we we need workers with assignments, workers with tasks, right? That's what we need. We need workers with tasks. And the tasks are based on objectives. So, question one, mm, what are your objectives and how are they organized in this documentation? Wow. So, I didn't really do much typing so far this morning. Right? That's the key. Like, if you're coming into a meeting, if you want to start a business, if you wake up Saturday morning and your mom likes a clean house, any of these things, it means like we need workers with assignments based on objectives, and we need to know where are your objectives, where are the objectives, and are how are they organized in this documentation. This is perfect, right? So this is task number one. Task one. Define objective organizational chart. Now, this is also based on the launch tasks. So we're using the general the general structure from the book from the website 100 tasks, and it splits up the launch. It splits up the when you're creating a business into three different groups, and then each group it helps you understand what needs to be done uh, throughout the this process of developing your business. Perfect. Okay, so that means that like I could pinpoint exactly where I am, which I did in yesterday's video. And what I discovered was that we're in the launch right now. We're in the launch tasks, and here's some future launch tasks that we can do, but not for right now. And then here's the current launch tasks that we're working on right now. And then I have a AI agent who's working on it here, and I have an AI agent working on it here. And I just realized I didn't update my Gemini subscription, so it's probably gonna stop working. All right. Now the objectives are going to be based on we have three different departments in our business right now. Um, I don't know why we have the business model canvas here. Yeah. So the business model canvas, it helps us to understand some of the basic idea. For example, if we think about marketing messages, like imagine that you're trying to get somebody to the point of sale, and what you're going to do is you're going to use marketing messages in order to get them to the point of sale. Now, after they've used the product, then you're hoping that they come back to the point of sale. So you have two methods for sure. You have two different methods for getting people to the point of sale. And we can define those as customer relationships. So the first customer relationship is how do you get them to buy the first time? Which means when you create marketing messages, it encourages the customer segment to buy your product. And then you have to decide where are you going to put those messages? What channels are you going to use to, and then what's the value proposition? From the perspective of the marketing messages or the marketing department, the value proposition is the actual message. It's the piece of content. Just like you produce a product, you're producing media. So maybe it's a video, maybe it's a blog article, maybe it's a post, maybe it's a email, maybe it's a message, maybe it's an event. And you have to create some kind of package of information. Then you go through that channel to get to your customer segment, and then your customer segment makes a purchase. Now, in order to create that value proposition, to create those marketing messages, then you're going to need key partners, key activities, and key resources. These go in the cost section. So you spend money and you do these things, and you get a value proposition. It goes through your channel and to your customer segment. Your customer segment goes to the point of sale, makes a purchase. Now, if your product meets their needs, if you are able to delight the customer, then meaning you have a great product, then what happens is that they might buy again. And so the value proposition from the perspective of the product is the actual product. And then what are the partners, activities, and resources, the costs, the factory to produce the product? And then the customer relationship is to get them to buy again. And then the question is, how are you going to get that product to that customer segment, meaning physically, like what's the actual process of delivering the product? What is the actual point of sale? No, I'm not, it's a little bit different than point of sale. What's the methodology? What's the method? What's the logistics? And like who do you cooperate with in order to get that product in the face of the customer? So there it is. That's a business model canvas. Now here, I've been like, we got to start to come up with some ideas to put into our business model canvas. So we're using the methodology of the business model canvas, and then we're also using the methodology of the launch tests. These are two methodologies can really help us to define our organizational chart. Well, it's right here, right? So define the target organizational chart, gather required requirements for each function, and then eventually we got to start looking at the competition matrix, logo and creatives. And then over here in our product, we're going to start creating the pro version of the product. Now in our Kevin O'Leary matrix, well, it's got to be signal. Kevin O'Leary signal. I like the word signal better. So he talks about following the signal and not the noise, which means here's our actual next video. Why does it say next video? So here is our actual to-do list. These are the to-do items. So, I mean, technically, the question I came up with is like, where is my to-do list? How do you know what to do when you first open up um, this document? Is it easy to understand what you should be doing? Does it help me to immediately figure out what to do? On the one hand, we need to be working with our workers and accomplishing tasks. On the other hand, we need to be defining objectives, and then organizing them in this documentation. So that's here's task number one. And then task number two. So it's here's our to-do list. To-do list. All right, so we got export, we got test the export task list. We got something with the blog page defining the first content piece. And then we got the lead magnet. We got release the live free version, and we got begin the pro version. Okay, so I got um here, uh, so what the problem I'm having right now is when you have a to-do list, you gotta pick just one task and begin work on it. This is the issue because right now I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like I have all of this like pretty much organized. And then once I get it all written down, then it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to be doing? Also, well, this is a like a test export task list. This is a product department issue. This is a marketing department issue. This is marketing department issue. This is a product department issue. This is a product department. So we have two, like maybe even three. So we have issues that are belong to all three of these departments. So why don't we let's start with the marketing department. Now, um, why don't we copy this? Can I copy this? You cannot copy it. Copy link to block. All right, fine. I don't care. Let's just top one or two items for today. So I'm going to copy this. Once we get here, we decided we're going to head to the marketing department. Hey, department vision. What's going on here? Create a clear path that leads a curious manager from their first click to their first completed objective. Okay. The process of turning a stranger into an engaged user. Okay, fine. Then we got something called a competition matrix. The competition matrix is actually a task. Okay, we got our business growth engine, we got our logo created, we got a brand bio, we got keep record keeping, we got start the meeting, we got Kanban, we got the to-do list. Let's bring this to-do list up here. And then I'm just gonna paste this, write blogs. So obviously this is in the wrong department. We got our blog page. Good. Make posts. That's pretty not specific. Write blog. We already have that one. Write the email campaign. Cut that. That's going to come after the lead magnet. This is a product issue. This is a product issue. Create ad stop. Create ad stop. What's an ad stop? Uh, well, I don't know what it is, so let's just delete it. Okay. So we got our department vision. Now, these aren't necessarily objectives. Um, these are to-do items. Are they to-do items or are they objectives? Hmm. Okay. So why don't we split this into two? I don't know what's going on here. Is that going to be also two? Okay. Now I liked it when I had that line. It just made it a little bit easier to organize. And I need to cut that. Okay, good. Put this one here. Which to-do items will be moved to the main page? So these are going to be the objectives. We talked about objectives earlier. Gemini thing. There must be another place. It can't possibly just be left. Here it is. We got these three projects. But if you want a project page, that's a good point. I think I'll just leave the to-do list item there. And then here we'll put projects. Then we have our to-do list. Okay. So we are still missing one. It's this idea of complete the competition matrix. Do I need to define roles? Define roles in this department. Oh, this is terrible. All right, we're back. Sell day and time again. So that's the competition matrix. Now, what are some objectives? So, you're looking at the wrong screen. What's this current objective? This first objective, it's like the first objective, it's about like start on a series of blog post themes and strategies, and then uh, create and launch those posts. I feel like this is important. This is related to the content authority. Okay, so instead of doing it like that, what we could do is Just leave one line in here. Oh, that's not a line. There. Define roles in this department. So, so what's the thought behind that? The thought is that um, if you define a series of roles, then you can role play a meeting. Competition matrix, uh, whatever. Let's move this to the top. Lead magnet. Yeah, that's and then the email campaigns. All right, so we have a lot of writing assignments. All right, here's the competition matrix. That's for this one. The business growth engine. Well, that's just a map that helps us to understand this concept. Record keeping? What is record keeping? Here's some. So this should be the calibration document. We'll just call this a calibration document. Because I don't like this format exactly. This idea of like a record keeping, not exactly. What we need is we need a series of prompts with data that we can plug into AI, and then the AI will be up to speed on what's going on in our marketing department. Start the meeting. Now I just yeah, I ran out of I'm not using Replit anymore. And the Kanban should not be down here. The Kanban. Let's let's put it in here, actually. Let's put it right up there. Because the benefit of the Kanban is that I can focus in on one item. See, right now there's just way too much information for my brain, and like what I see is analysis paralysis, and I just see too much information. So, like, we got the blog article, we got the lead magnet, ebook. Now, well, the thing is that I already have like I already made a YouTube series. Uh about the Endeavor cycle. So why don't we just reuse that instead of like because instead of like saying, well, I'm going to write a whole nother book and I'm going to change everything and I got this because that could take a day, it could take a year, it could take a month. Who knows how long that's going to take. So rather than like trying to come up with this like a brand new ebook, then what we're going to do is we're just going to plug in the videos because I already have it done. So what do I need is I need to change the page. of the lead magnet to talk about YouTube there. And then now this is now on the wrong page. And we're going to move this to the very bottom because in fact, at some point I will need to change that, but not now. In fact, let's just delete that. Great email campaign. Okay, that's fine because I already have this content. Now, this is on the wrong page. So there you go. Let's jump into the point of sale. We have a Kanban list in here. The home page. Home page is done. Design issues. I don't really know what they are. Pricing page is done. The pro version, that's not a home page issue. Make posts, it's not a home page issue. The lead magnet page. Change the page of the lead magnet to talk about YouTube series. There you go. Great. I don't know any of this is. Can I delete all of them at the same time? Delete pages. Good. Oh, it's perfect. What's this? Now your to-do list. There we go. Lead magnet page, sales page. Good. What is this? Oh, wow. I just feel much better now. So we need to get back to the blog article, blog page to find the first. All right. Now this is actually a good point because we need to fix that point of sale. We also need to fix the blog page and how do we input a blog article? Good. All right. Now, okay, we're back to the blog article. So we're working on the project number 2. We're looking at the objective about decide on a series of blog post themes and strategies and then create a launch of these posts. And here it is, the blog page, define the content. Uh-oh. Okay, good. So now let's go back to Google Gemini. We've been having this conversation for a little while about like what should these blog articles be about. And this is where I would like to introduce uh my actual product. Like what is it that we're going to be blogging about? And what is it that we are trying to do here? What's the point? Now, in order to do this, let's see if it's possible to load up my app. Yes, it is possible. So this is the actual product that I'm presenting. This is the real thing. This is the real deal. Remember I was talking about the blog page. Here's the blog page. So we need to figure out how to, these aren't my blogs. So we need to figure out how to update like this website without having to change the code. So we want a page where we can upload blog articles. And then when I talked about the free course, so this is the page that we need to change in order to link it to my YouTube so that people get access to my online course. And then we need to create a series of emails. So this is for email advertising. And then, why is this the wrong size? There we go. But Journey, so this is the free version of my app. Now we can use the free version of the app in order, and that's actually what we're doing with Google Gemini. So what happened with Google Gemini is we're going to start brainstorming. So here's the question. The first step to innovation is understanding the landscape. Look at what competitors, industry leaders, or even successful entities in other fields are doing. And identify current trends. Identifying current trends is the key to seeing opportunity. So we did that. We were in Google first thing that we did. We talked about like what are some trends? How should we do this? What's going on? And it came up with like it says it says basically when people have these thinking tools, you can create a like a strategy A is like documenting your own startup journey. I'm already doing this on YouTube, so it's not necessarily the most exciting thing, but for me, it's interesting because it's like it's magical. And also it keeps me focused. If I didn't make these YouTube videos, I probably wouldn't even. I wouldn't be able to work the speed that I'm working at. And right now, as you see, this is not exactly the fastest speed in the world. All right, next is professor. So teaching on a broad landscape of all business theories. Okay, so that's another probability. And then lastly is the specialist. So what it's saying is, hey, Blaine, maybe you should be doing a deep dive into your own thinking framework. And it's like, oh, okay. So your blog is actually teaching people about your framework, why it's important. See, the thing is that like the tool that I'm actually the pro version of the app. So the free version of the app is here. It's these three modules and then um creating a to-do list. This is literally like that's the website I just created. These three modules and then the to-do list. Now, in the pro version of the app, you're going to also have this loop here where you can do touch base. So I'm going to add touch base and then I'm also going to add the vision. But that's not really the main value. The main value of the pro version is going to be the opportunity to create more than one project and also to have a history of all the different things that you've entered into those input boxes. Because the issue is that with my product as it is right now, when you enter information, oh, I already have it in the, okay. They both got updated. I got localhost. I don't understand this. I got localhost 5173. It served up this, and then I got localhost 5174, and it like literally is the exact same app with the updates. Anyways, all right. So the issue is like, look, like, so I mean, based on the discussion from, all right, so based on this discussion from the Google Gemini, I can paste this in here. So it says our recommended strategy. It says, okay, it's too much text. Oh, I already saved it. Okay, I'll delete it from here. Okay, so it says our recommended strategy for your blog post is adopted strategy C, the specialist. Now, I just want to move. Okay, we should focus on content exclusively on Project Arrowhead framework. This is the most direct path to attracting your ideal user, the manager who's actively looking for a better way to plan and lead. It clearly communicates your unique value, builds your brand around your intellectual property from day one. Good. All right, next step. So as you can see in the next step, when you go back, it's still there. But the thing is that like if I change this, then there's no copy. There's nowhere like I can't go back to previous text that I've entered. And some people they might want to go back to previous text they've entered. And the pro version fits in because then you'll have history and then you can click that specific line in the history. Like I can click the brainstorming module from last week and then it'll just show me the answers from last week. Or I can click the brainstorming module from 2 weeks ago. It'll show me the brainstorming module from 2 weeks ago. So it saves all of your input every time you create a new instance of these modules. And then these modules are all saved within a project. So then you can share like one project, or you can go back into one specific project. Like let's say you have two different projects. I can open up this project. I'm having a discussion with this team. Then I go back, and then I go into the other meeting. I open up my second project. I open up this with the second team. So that's what the pro version is going to be all about. So the magic's not actually like, in fact, I want people to know these. Like that's the whole point of these thinking tools, is that like I want people to know these questions. I want people to work through this content. I want this to be like a popular thinking methodology for how to get things done. So it means talking about it. Okay, so then I says, okay, so here's our first blog post. Our first blog post is going to be designed like this. Beyond buzzwords, the first question every team must answer before brainstorming, the pain point of the brainstorm, the flaw in thinking outside the box, the introducing imitate principles. And it's like, yeah, maybe that's the answer. But if we're going to continue with the philosophy of Project Arrowhead, then actually what we need to do is we need to go to the next step. The next step is, now that you've done your research, it's time to think outside the box. Don't limit yourself to what you've already done. Generate completely new, creative, innovative concepts. And then we also did that step with, I just explained, that's the Monday. So now here's on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, let's fully embrace the idea of ideate. And this is what it came up with. Choose your own adventure blog post, strategic deck, AI generated business soap opera, framework as a soundscape, silent consultant video series, leaked memo content drop, recipe book, a business problem escape room, the anti-case study collection, manager's haiku, the augmented reality office, the generative AI piece, a fictional manager's diary, a pop-up strategic clinic, reverse psychology post. What's that? 5 reasons the strategic framework will absolutely ruin a company. Oh, I like that. All right, I'm gonna put that in box number 2. Anyways, it's a placeholder because it just says that we did something. Now, if you click, okay, it saves it. Okay, you don't have to click the navigation buttons for it to be saved. I thought, okay, that's better. There, you see, so it's saved. Uh-huh. And then this other one that's served up on 5174. It has the updates. It has all the updates, but it doesn't have this answer saved from the first time. Okay. Means we can do both. All right. So where are we now? Well, now, okay, so it says identifying patterns. So there's some gamification and interactive activities. There's sensory and abstract translation. There's narrative role play. There's tangibility and breaking the screen. What is that? So I gotta read this a couple times again. Oh, you're not looking at just I was just going through the ideation, and then after you go through all the ideas, then it's like it finds the pattern. So it's like, what's the pattern inside of these different ideas? So there was a couple of them that are about gamification and interactivity. There's a couple of them that are about sensory abstract translation. There's a couple role plays. Then there's tangibility and break the scene. So there's 4 basic principles or themes behind these ideas. But what's the point? The point is we got a whole bunch of ideas, and well, we didn't make a decision yet. So that's the whole point. Is that right now we're only brainstorming. So after we go through this brainstorming module, then we're eventually going to get to the choose module. We're not going to do the choose module right now, but eventually we are going to get to the choose module. So the main thing right now is we're trying to come up with ideas. And we are now on brainstorming page, step number 3. So we're going to start the next video with brainstorming step 3. And we're just going to go back into here, the blog post. We're going to be doing brainstorming step 3. brainstorm step 3, and then eventually we want to do the then choose module. And after we go through the choose module, then we're going to define the objective. So then we'll go, once we have a clear objective, then we'll be able to update the objective, and then we'll be able to go through the objectives module in order to update the to-do list. And we're going to create a specific to-do list for writing blog posts or to write a series of blog posts. All right. So, so the to-do list item, it's actually, we are going through Project Arrowhead with and deciding on a blog posting objective. There. That is what we're doing. The creating a blog article. First blog article is there. Now, I just want to, oops. So we're going to close up this. Oops. Why isn't that work? We're going to close up all of these things. And then we're going to answer this question here, which to-do list items will be moved to the main page. So it's this one I just copied. I'm going to go down to the Kevin O'Leary signal. There we go, Kevin O'Leary signal. That's what it's called. Kevin O'Leary signal. And then test export test. So we're going to change this blog post define first content piece. So we changed it to going through the project overhead and deciding on the blog posting objective. Here you go. So obviously we got more work to do. And next time we can either continue with this task or we can go into one of the other departments and focus on one of those tasks. We'll catch you next time on the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blaine Gates.